Hello again. Good evening, everybody. She insists she loves children.
But this DCF worker's employment file contains some scathing reviews. And 19's Nicole Barahona live outside a home in Southwest Miami-Dade, where the caseworker's actions most recently came into question. Nicole?
Well, Belkis, this is that personnel file. Hundreds of pages of information on the DCF worker who did come out here to check on abuse claims against Victor and Nubia Barahona. Well, her 2 visits yielded nothing. And of course, we know now that 4 days later, Nubia Barahona was found dead.
I love kids, okay? I'm a grandmother of 5, all under the age of 4.
The words of a longtime DCF child abuse investigator.
So we don't do investigations on the weekends? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not allowed to do investigations on the weekend.
These are the words that would haunt investigator Andrea Fleury and her employer, the Department of Children and Families. On Monday, February 14th, a road ranger found 53-year-old George Barahona dazed outside of his truck parked along I-95 in West Palm Beach. Inside, his severely injured adoptive son, Victor, 10 years old, and the body of Victor's twin, Nubia. Both had been drenched with chemicals. 3 days before DCF investigated an abuse claim against Barahona and his wife, Carmen, the DCF worker never saw the children. That investigator, Andrea Fleury. The Department of Children and Families has released Fleury's personnel record, and some of the revelations are startling, including several reprimands involving child safety. In October 2003, she received a final counseling notice for failing to conduct an interview with a person reporting child abuse. In the same case, supervisors say she failed to shelter a 3-year-old from the child's mother, contrary to a court order. In an even more startling case, in February 2010, supervisors say she removed a child after a 24-hour deadline and interviewed the child without law enforcement. The supervisor wrote, quote, "Your neglect placed this child at risk of additional harm," end quote. Public reports say that case involved a girl sleeping in the nude with her father, also unclothed. 7 News caught up with her Thursday.
I love kids, okay? Of course I feel bad.
There can be no doubt that it is her job to find these children, to eyeball them, to see them, to assure that they're safe.
Now, before Andrea Fleury became a child abuse investigator, she worked for the old Department of HRS in the public assistance realm. She was helping people dealing with food stamps and welfare. And apparently, during her stint in that job in 1992, she was accused of punching a fellow co-worker on the job. Now, she's placed on administrative leave with pay, and we do have a statement now from the Secretary of DCF released just today, and it reads in part that this case is as tragic as it is complex, and that we will develop a narrative that will clearly identify the lessons to be learned during this very difficult process. Reporting live in Southwest Miami-Dade tonight, Nicole Barahona, 7 News 19.